For the remainder of your life, every great achievement begins with a single truth in your life is shaped not by what others think of you, but by what you think of yourself. For the remainder of your life, too many people spend their energy chasing approval, living in fear of judgment, or trying to fit into standards that were never theirs to begin with. For the remainder of your life, this habit robs them of their potential. The moment you stop comparing your life to others, you reclaim the energy needed to create something meaningful. For the remainder of life, comparison blinds you to your own strengths and makes you doubt your unique journey, but when you focus on yourself, your progress becomes unstoppable. The most powerful investment you will ever make is in yourself. Build your mind, your habits, and your character, because these are the foundations that create lasting success. Others may distract you, criticize you, or outshine you temporarily, but your growth is not dependent on them. Success is not about competing with the world. It is about competing with the version of you that existed yesterday. When you wake up with the intention to be a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more disciplined than before, life responds with opportunities that only you are prepared to handle. Your thoughts are like seeds, and the mind is the soil where they grow. If you constantly think about others, envy their success, or criticize their efforts, you are planting weeds that will choke your own progress. Instead, plant seeds of belief, gratitude, and determination. Use the energy you would waste on jealousy to fuel your own dreams. True confidence is quiet. It doesn't seek validation, because it knows where it is going. When you stop shouting for attention and focus on becoming the best version of yourself, the world begins to notice naturally. Guard your time and energy as sacred. The hours you spend on gossip, judgment, or comparison could be used to learn, create, and master your craft. The habits you build in private shape the success you celebrate in public. Others' opinions are temporary, but the discipline you develop lasts a lifetime. For the remainder of your life, celebrate others' wins without resentment, because their path has nothing to do with yours. Each journey is unique, and every step you take toward your own vision matters far more than where some. For the remainder of your life, too many people exhaust themselves by constantly comparing their journey with that of others, never realizing how deeply this habit steals their peace and slows their growth. But when you focus on what someone else has achieved, you blind yourself to your own blessings and opportunities. Comparison makes you feel as if you are always behind, as if life is some kind of race you are losing. But the truth is, your life has its own timing, its own seasons, and its own lessons. The moment you stop measuring your worth against others, you free yourself to discover who you truly are and what you are capable of creating. This tendency to compare begins subtly. You see someone else succeeding and feel a sense of lack within yourself, forgetting that they too had moments of struggle and self-doubt. Every person's path is different for the remainder of your life, and what looks like overnight success is often the result of years of unseen effort. Instead of envying someone's position, for the remainder of your life, learn from their persistence and apply that same energy to your own goals. The more you shift your focus inward, for the remainder of your life, the more you realize that your greatest competition is not another person. It is the unfulfilled potential inside of you for the remainder of your life. Comparison robs joy because it turns your attention toward things you cannot control. You cannot control the blessings, talents, or timing of another person's life, but you can control how you prepare, how you work, and how you respond to challenges. The energy wasted on jealousy can be transformed into discipline and determination. Use that energy to sharpen your skills, to refine your character, and to take daily steps toward the future you desire. In doing so, you create momentum that no outside force can stop. The growth comes from self-awareness, not from watching others. The more you focus on your own path, the clearer your vision becomes. You begin to see opportunities that were always there but were hidden by distractions and self-doubt. You learn to celebrate others without resentment, understanding that their success does not diminish your own potential. As this mindset strengthens, you feel lighter, more peaceful, and the more motivated to build something that reflects your true purpose. Ultimately, comparison is a trap designed to keep you stagnant. For the remainder of your life, the only person you should strive to be better than is the version of yourself you were yesterday. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. If you wake up each day determined to grow in some way, whether in wisdom, discipline, or gratitude, you will look back months from now and see how far you've For the most powerful investment you can ever make is in yourself, because no one can take that away from you. When you choose to develop your mind, sharpen your skills, and strengthen your character, you are building something permanent and unshakable. Material possessions can be lost, opportunities may fade, and circumstances can change overnight, but the qualities you cultivate within yourself remain with you for life. The time you spend learning, improving, and mastering your own abilities creates a foundation that will serve you in every challenge you face. Far too many people look outside themselves for answers, waiting for someone else to rescue them or give them the opportunities they desire. They don't realize that their true power lies in what they do with their own resources: time, energy, and determination. When you invest in your own growth, you become less dependent on the approval of others and more capable of creating opportunities for yourself. For the remainder of your life, you shift from being reactive to proactive, taking control of your own path instead of waiting for life to hand you what you want. For the remainder of your life, developing your mind is the first step in this investment. Feeding your thoughts with positivity, discipline, and knowledge allows you to see possibilities where others see obstacles. Every book you read, every skill you practice, every moment you spend reflecting on your goals adds value to who you are becoming. This inner work might not bring instant recognition, but over time it builds confidence that cannot be shaken by criticism or failure. It makes you resilient, adaptable, and prepared to face whatever challenges life presents. For the remainder of your life, equally important is investing in your character. Success without integrity is hollow, and skill without humility often leads to downfall. For the remainder of your life, when you focus on becoming the kind of person who keeps promises, treats others with respect, and stays disciplined even when no one is watching, you create a reputation that opens doors on its own. People are naturally drawn to those who have built themselves up from within, because authenticity is rare. Every moment you spend worrying about what others are doing is a moment you steal from building the life you desire. It may seem harmless to glance at someone else's progress or wonder why they are ahead, but each second of distraction adds up. When your mind is consumed with someone else's path, you stop walking your own. Time is the most valuable currency you have, and once it is spent on comparison or envy, you cannot get it back. Those who achieve greatness understand that their energy must remain focused on their vision, not scattered across the lives of others. This fixation on others often leads to doubt and hesitation. You begin to question your own abilities, wondering if you are good enough or if you are already too far behind. That inner doubt becomes louder than your inner drive, and soon you are standing still while opportunities pass by. The truth is, every person moves at a different pace, and what you see of someone else's journey is rarely the full story. The success you admire might have taken years of struggle and sacrifice that you never witnessed. Redirecting that energy back to yourself changes everything. Instead of comparing, you begin creating. Instead of feeling envy, you feel motivated to work harder on your own goals. You shift your focus to improving your skills, staying disciplined, and taking action toward your vision. Over time, this quiet, consistent effort compounds into real results. What once felt like a distant dream begins to take shape, not because you worried about others, but because you stayed committed to yourself. When you stop worrying about others, you also free yourself from the weight of their opinions. Fear of judgment often holds people back more than failure itself. But when you learn to value your own opinion above the noise around you, you act with confidence and clarity. This self-trust allows you to take bold steps without hesitation, knowing that your path belongs to you and no one else. Ultimately, the life you desire can only be built by your own hands. No one else can walk your path, face your challenges, or live your dreams for you. The sooner you let go of worrying about others, the sooner you can fully commit to the work that matters, your growth, your progress, and your purpose. In the end, you will realize that focusing on yourself was necessary. Success does not come from competing with others, but from competing with the person you were yesterday. The need to outshine others often creates unnecessary stress and pulls you away from what truly matters. When you chase external validation, you become trapped in a cycle where your worth depends on someone else's position. But when you shift your focus inward, growth becomes personal. It is no longer about winning against others, but about improving yourself day by day. This mindset brings peace and clarity, allowing you to measure progress by your own standards instead of society's. Each day gives you a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more disciplined than before. It is about making small improvements, habits that seem insignificant at first but compound over time. Reading a few pages, practicing a skill, reflecting on your mistakes. Or waking up earlier may not seem like much today, but months from now, those small acts will create a version of you that feels unrecognizable compared to who you were. Competing with yourself allows you to focus on steady, sustainable progress rather than quick wins that fade quickly. When you make yourself the benchmark, jealousy begins to fade. For the remainder of life, you are no longer concerned with who is ahead or behind. You are concerned only with whether you are moving forward. This internal competition removes pressure to prove yourself to anyone else. It creates freedom, the freedom to grow at your own pace, set your own goals, and celebrate your own milestones without comparison. In this way, success feels fulfilling because it aligns with your personal values and desires. Competing with your past self also builds resilience. There will be days when progress feels slow or invisible, and that is when many people give up. For the remainder of your life, when you understand it is a personal journey, setbacks no longer feel like failures. They become lessons. You begin to see struggles as opportunities to rise above the person you were yesterday, turning difficulties into stepping stones rather than barriers. For the true reward of this approach is transformation. By focusing on your own journey, you create a life that reflects your unique potential. For the remainder, no longer chase temporary recognition, but build lasting confidence that no one can take from you. For the remainder of life, every step you take toward being better than you were yesterday brings you closer to the life you've always envisioned. This is the quiet power of self-competition. It turns everyday actions into a path toward greatness. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in the garden of your mind, and every seed you nurture will eventually grow into something tangible in your life. When you allow thoughts of self-belief, gratitude, and determination to take root, they blossom into actions and habits that move you toward success. But when you allow weeds of envy, fear, or doubt to take hold, they choke the growth of anything positive you are trying to build. What you focus on expands, what you feed will flourish. This is why mastering your thoughts is the foundation for mastering your entire life. Most people underestimate the power of a single thought. One small belief that says, "I can do this," repeated daily, can transform your confidence and shape your decisions in ways you don't even notice at first. Over time, that belief leads you to opportunities, attracts supportive people into your life, and gives you the courage to take risks. On the other hand, one recurring thought of doubt, like, "I'm not good enough," can sabotage your potential without you realizing it, because you start living as though that belief is true. The choice of which seeds to plant is entirely yours. You cannot always control what happens around you, but you can control what you choose to dwell on. If you dwell on resentment or jealousy toward others, you are giving power to negativity that only hurts you. But if you choose thoughts of gratitude and self-belief, even when life feels unfair, you train your mind to look for solutions instead of problems. Over time, this mental discipline becomes a quiet strength that guides you through every challenge. Planting the right seeds also requires patience. A seed does not grow overnight. It takes time, care, and consistent effort to see results. The same is true for your thoughts. You cannot expect instant change, but if you keep nurturing positive beliefs and uprooting the weeds of negativity, you will eventually see growth. The results may start small, a shift in your attitude, a new opportunity, a sense of peace, but they will compound and lead to bigger transformations. Every great achievement begins as a thought. The life you are living today is the harvest for the remainder of your life. The energy you give to criticism or jealousy can instead be transformed into determination and creativity for the remainder of your life. Most people don't realize how much mental power they waste on resenting others or replaying negative remarks in their minds. For the remainder of your life, every moment spent envying someone's success or dwelling on harsh words is a moment stolen from building your own. When you take that same energy and direct it toward your personal goals, you turn something destructive into something that fuels you. Criticism doesn't have to crush you. It can sharpen you. Jealousy doesn't have to poison you. It can motivate you to work harder on yourself. Negative emotions are powerful because they demand attention. For the remainder of your life, when someone criticizes you, it's easy to replay their words over and over, When you see someone doing better than you, it's natural to feel a sting of envy. But these emotions only gain strength if you let them sit unchallenged in your mind. The key is to flip their meaning. Ask yourself, how can this make me better? What lesson can I pull from this? That shift turns what could have been wasted energy into purposeful action that serves your growth. Determination grows when you refuse to quit in the face of doubt. Every criticism becomes proof that you are daring to do something worth noticing. Instead of running from judgment, use it as a reminder to stay focused on your vision. Let jealousy remind you of what you truly want and push you to pursue it with greater intensity. In this way, emotions that once weakened you become fuel that strengthens your resolve to keep moving forward. Creativity also thrives in this transformation. When you stop obsessing over others, your mind becomes free to imagine new solutions and ideas for your own journey. The energy that once spiraled into self-pity can now be directed toward building something unique, something only you can create. For some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come when you finally turn inward and channel your energy into your own possibilities instead of reacting to others. Ultimately, our criticism and jealousy are unavoidable parts of life, but how you respond to them determines whether they control you or empower you. For the remainder of your life, when you learn to redirect these emotions into determination and creativity, they no longer hold you back. They propel you forward. True confidence is silent. It comes from knowing you are progressing toward your own goals, not shouting about your worth to gain approval. Many people mistake confidence for noise, thinking that if they speak loudly about what they're doing, others will respect them more. But real confidence doesn't need validation. For the remainder of your life, it doesn't need applause or recognition to exist. It's built quietly in the background, in the moments when you show up for yourself even when no one is watching. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you push past excuses, and every time you choose discipline over distraction. When you are truly confident, for the remainder of your life, you do not need to prove your worth to anyone else because you already know your value. For the remainder of life, this kind of confidence allows you to move through life with calm assurance rather than constant anxiety about how others perceive you. You stop chasing approval because you understand that your growth is personal. It doesn't have to be explained or justified to anyone. For the remainder of your life, you no longer rely on the applause of others to feel secure because the foundation of your confidence is built from within. For the remainder of life, the most powerful people are often the quietest about their achievements. They don't announce every step because their results speak for themselves. This doesn't mean they are hiding. It means they understand the strength of patience and consistency. Instead of talking about what they will do, they focus on doing it. And when the results appear, they don't need to convince anyone of their worth. The evidence is undeniable. Silent confidence also protects your energy. When you are constantly seeking approval, you become vulnerable to criticism and praise alike, swayed by every opinion. But when you trust your own path, outside opinions lose their power over you. You still listen and learn from feedback, but it no longer defines your sense of self. This steadiness allows you to stay focused on your goals, no matter the distractions or noise around you. Building this kind of confidence requires self-awareness and daily commitment. For the remainder of your life, it means reminding yourself that growth isn't always visible to others, that it is always happening inside you. It means valuing progress over recognition and personal. Others' opinions are temporary, but your self-discipline and habits shape your permanent destiny. The way people view today may change tomorrow, for their praise or criticism often reflects their own perspective rather than the truth about you. If you live by the shifting opinions of others, you will constantly feel unstable for the remainder of your life, unsure of who you or where you are going. But when you anchor your life to habits that strengthen you and discipline that keeps you consistent, you create stability that no outside voice can shake. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your achievements. It is the daily choice to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. While others may comment, doubt, or even ignore your efforts, the habits you build in private quietly transform you. Over time, those habits accumulate into results that are impossible to overlook. Success doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It's built slowly, day by day, through the choices you make when no one is watching. When you focus on discipline rather than approval, your sense of fulfillment deepens. For the remainder of your life, you no longer depend on someone else's recognition to feel accomplished because you know the work you've put in. For the remainder of your life, the quiet pride of self-mastery is far more powerful than the fleeting thrill of praise. This is why some of the most successful people seem calm and centered. They are fueled by their own commitment, not by public opinion. Habits also determine the trajectory of your life in ways you may not see at first. A single positive habit, like reading daily or exercising regularly, may feel small in the moment, but compounded over months and years, it shapes who you become. The same is true for negative habits. They quietly erode potential until you wake up wondering where the time went. Choosing the right habits is choosing your future. In the end, the opinions of others fade, but the person you become through discipline and consistent effort stays with you forever. For when you focus on building habits that align with your goals, you create a destiny that no criticism can destroy and no praise can overinflate. For the remainder of your life, you are no longer at the mercy of what others think because your foundation is built on something far stronger. Your own commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. When you stop seeking validation, you unlock the freedom to live life on your terms. So many people are trapped by the invisible chains of approval, constantly looking over their shoulders to see if others agree with their choices. They measure their worth by applause, likes, or recognition, never realizing that this dependence robs them of inner peace. Living this way is exhausting because you can never please everyone. Someone will always have an opinion about your path. The moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you begin to breathe freely and pursue what truly fulfills you. Seeking validation keeps you stuck in a cycle of hesitation. For the remainder of your life, every decision becomes a performance, every move a calculation of how it will be perceived. This fear of judgment stifles creativity and prevents risk-taking, the very ingredients necessary for growth. When your energy is focused on how others see you, for the remainder of life, you forget to ask yourself what you genuinely want. You become an actor in someone else's script instead of the author of your own story. For the remainder of your life, breaking from this mindset allows you to write that story without compromise. Freedom begins when you realize that other people's opinions do not define your reality. The same person who praises you today may criticize you tomorrow, and neither response should determine your path. True confidence comes from within, for the real life rooted in your own values and goals. Once you trust yourself enough to move forward without needing approval, you gain control over your life. For the remainder of your life, you begin making decisions based on what aligns with your vision rather than what gains temporary applause. Living on your terms doesn't mean ignoring everyone or refusing guidance. It means knowing the difference between constructive advice and the need for validation. For the remainder of life, you can listen to feed without letting it control you. You can learn from others without losing yourself in their expectations. This balance creates a calm strength because you are open to growth but unwilling to compromise your authenticity. It is the foundation of both success and peace of mind. When you stop seeking validation, your relationships also improve. You stop resenting others for not praising you enough and stop bending yourself to earn their approval. Instead, for the remainder of your life, you show up authentically, which attracts people who value you for who you are rather than for what you do to please them. This shift creates deeper, for the remainder of your life, healthier connections and eliminates the constant anxiety of wondering if you're enough for others. The life you dream of cannot be built on someone else's approval. It must be built on your own conviction. The sooner you release the need to be validated, the sooner you can fully commit to your vision without fear. It is in this freedom that you discover your greatest strength, the ability to trust yourself, honor your path, and move forward boldly no matter what others think. That is the beginning of true success, living a life that feels right to you, not one that looks right to everyone else. Learning to celebrate others' success without resentment is one of the most liberating shifts you can make for your own growth. Too often, people see someone else achieving their goals and immediately feel threatened, as if there is less room in the world for their own dreams. But success is not limited. It is not a finite resource. Another person's progress does not diminish your potential. When you can genuinely be happy for someone else, You prove to yourself that you are secure enough in your own path to remain focused on it. Resentment toward others' achievements is often rooted in comparison. You look at where they are and measure it against where you are, forgetting that every journey begins at a different starting line. You cannot compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Their success might be the result of years of work, sacrifice, and persistence that you didn't witness. Realizing this helps you let go of jealousy and focus on what you can control, your own progress. Celebrating others also invites positivity into your own life. When you cheer for someone else, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You begin to see success as something that can multiply rather than something that must be fought over. This attitude not only improves your relationships, but also makes you more receptive to opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who uplift rather than compete, and this creates a network of support that benefits everyone involved. Choosing to celebrate instead of resent also builds character. It strengthens humility and gratitude, reminding you that you are not defined by external milestones alone. Your worth does not rise or fall based on what someone else has accomplished. By appreciating their journey, you also begin to appreciate your own. You understand that every person's path is unique and that there is no race, only individual timelines and personal growth. Resentment drains energy, but celebration energizes. When you allow jealousy to linger, it poisons your focus and slows your progress. But when you sincerely congratulate others, you free yourself from that weight. This mental freedom allows you to keep your eyes on your own goals and to work toward them with clarity and purpose. The same energy that once fueled envy can now fuel ambition, turning a negative into a positive. In the end, celebrating others is less about them and more about you. It reflects the maturity of someone who understands their own value and trusts their own process for the remainder of your life. When you can genuinely be happy for someone else's success, it means you are no longer insecure about your own potential. This shift transforms not only your mindset, but also your relationships and your journey. By learning to celebrate rather than resent, you create space for your own success to unfold in its time. Your time is sacred. Guard it fiercely and spend it on learning, building, and mastering your craft. For the remainder of every moment you allow to slip away on distractions or negativity is a moment you will never get back. Time is the only resource you cannot replace. Once it's gone forever. Many people waste years worrying about others, indulging in gossip or procrastinating, and later wonder why their goals remain unfulfilled. The truth is, for the remainder of your life, what you do with your hours determines the quality of your life. Protect them as you would protect something priceless, because they are. For the remainder of life, guarding your time means being intentional about where you invest your energy. Every commitment you make, every conversation you have, every distraction you entertain either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you away from them. Ask yourself regularly, is this helping me grow? Is this worth my attention? Most people fail to achieve what they want not because they lack talent, but because they fail to prioritize. For the remainder of your life, success requires choosing what matters and saying no to what doesn't, even if it means disappointing others in the process. Spending your time on learning is one of the greatest investments you can make. Every new skill, every bit of knowledge, every lesson learned adds value to your future. For the remainder of your life, while others waste hours scrolling, criticizing, or comparing, you can quietly sharpen yourself for opportunities they won't be ready for. For the remainder of your life, building and mastering your craft doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of countless focused hours that no one else sees. Over time, this dedication compounds into expertise that sets you apart. Protecting your time also means removing yourself from environments and people that drain you. For the remainder of your life, everyone deserves access to your energy, and not every activity deserves a place in your schedule. When you allow yourself to be consumed by noise, whether it's constant drama, for the remainder of your life, negativity or distractions, you slow down your own progress. Guarding your time isn't about isolation. For the remainder of your life, it's about surrounding yourself with what fuels your purpose rather than what weakens it. In the end, your life will reflect how you spent your time. If you fill it with meaningful work, growth, and disciplines will speak for themselves. If you waste, it's seeking approval or indulging in comparison. For the remainder of your life, you'll always feel behind. Treat your hours as sacred, and they will reward you with a future that aligns with your deepest goals. For the remainder of your life, every day is a chance to build something meaningful. Don't waste it on what doesn't matter. Every day, ask yourself, am I closer to my goals than I was yesterday? That single question has the power to reshape your focus and eliminate distractions. It reminds you that the only comparison worth making is between who you are now and who you were before. While the world may tempt you to measure yourself against others, this daily reflection keeps you grounded in your own journey. It shifts your attention from external validation to personal growth, from what others are doing to what you are doing to improve. This question forces honesty. It requires you to look at your actions, your habits, and your mindset without excuses. If the answer is no, it's not a reason to feel shame. It's an invitation to make adjustments. It teaches you to correct quickly rather than waiting for weeks or months to realize you've drifted off track. By checking in with yourself daily, you create accountability that no one else can enforce. Small improvements may not feel significant at first, but they add up over time. Being 1% better each day leads to remarkable transformation over months and years. This question keeps you focused on those incremental gains rather than overwhelming yourself with the entire distance to your destination. It teaches you patience with the process while maintaining urgency in your effort. It also helps you celebrate progress even when it seems invisible to others. Some victories are quiet, a negative thought you overcame, a moment of discipline when you wanted to quit, a decision to choose growth over comfort. Asking if you are closer to your goals helps you notice and appreciate these small wins, which build confidence and motivation to keep going. This daily self-assessment also creates clarity. When you regularly evaluate whether your actions align with your goals, you begin to see patterns. You notice what habits are helping you and which ones are holding you back. Over time, this awareness allows you to refine your strategy, focus on what truly works, and eliminate what doesn't. Clarity leads to momentum, and momentum leads to results. Ultimately, this simple question can become a compass for your life. It ensures that no matter how chaotic things get around you, you remain committed to your own growth. The path to success is rarely straight, but when you check your progress daily, you stay aligned with where you want to go. This habit transforms your goals from distant dreams into living realities, achieved step by step, day by day.